Hello again, everybody! Welcome back to Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie, and I'm now watching this last little bit of cutscenes after we beat Grunty the Witch. They're still hanging out on that beach, I guess, and oh, Mumble's out of the tree now. Hey, Mumble got secret pictures. Nice one, Bone Brain. What's on them? This is basically like what you get for like pretty much completing 100% of the game. Well, I don't think you need all the notes, but you do need all of the 100 jiggies. Yeah, I guess that's the cool thing. They pretty much finished Banjo-Kazooie when they started work on Banjo-Tooie, so they already had an idea of the sequel, which is why they did this stop and swap thing in the first place. Because yeah, that's what he's revealing to us. Spoiler. Ooh. Yeah, so show us your secrets. Pictures show things you missed. Secrets that are for new game. Banjo-Tooie. Sounds great. Is that any good? Well, it's up to the viewers of the bot flares to say. Mumble's jaw dropped in awe. But yeah, he's basically gonna show you the stop and swap thing. This is pretty much like one of the greatest like in-place advertisements for games, as in it made you want to get the game to be able to do all this kind of stuff, because at the time to be able to combine two games into one would have been amazing. But this is also where my capture will also probably just die on us, because it can show footage of the game easily, but when it shows footage of the game inside the footage of the game, it gets a little loopy, as you can see here. This is basically a place in Treasure Trove Cove. There is a stop and swap thing there. Where exactly it is, I won't exactly show you until the next episode when I actually do this, because I already know I'm not going to have enough time to do all this. So I'm already going to be working on the other little bonus of this game. So we just do our favorite type of jump up to the top, it looks like. Man, it's gonna suck if I fall from there. Okay. Up top is this thingy. This is one of the great stop and swap eggs. I think there's maybe 7 of them. Anyway. Next one is, as you can kind of guess, I was already hinting at another in the previous episode, is the ice key from Waz's cave. He was like, tell us what that egg was. Bird, be quiet. Watch picture. And there it is. Core! A giant ice key. I'm still going to have to figure out what the heck core means. Kazooie. Oh, that's the place where we found Gobi the 3rd time. There's a door, and looks like you can actually get in it. There's a sarcophagus. Golden switch. He's not tell. Wonder what's in there. Another egg. See, that's pretty much a little hint at a lot of the things you can get. How do we get those? Mumble not telling. Find out in Banjo-Tooie. Which actually they can never do, because come on, how are they ever going to be able to take out one N64 cartridge and put in the other one without severely messing everything up? So yeah. Nope, sadly to say, unless I haven't tried the Xbox versions of these games out. I have played through and beaten Banjo-Kazooie in the Xbox version, and there is a rumor, I have not heard it all the way, like, fully, I guess, backed up, but they say that if you also get Banjo-Tooie on the same profile in your Xbox Live, then you can also, then you can do the stop and swap, which I think would be kind of cool, but I don't know. I still have my doubts of how they're going to be able to do all that. And that's pretty much how everything got to the way it was in Banjo-Tooie. That is the end of the game. But I'm not done quite yet. There's still some bonuses for me to show, so I'm going to cut in front of Banjo's house, like so. You see, you can actually leave Grunty's lair at any time and come back out in Spar Mountain. You can go into Banjo's house. I don't know if it's at every point in the game, but if you look at this picture of bottles, whoa, hey, you found my secret moving pictures game. Yep, it's more of those puzzles like from Banjo-Tooie that I've been showing. Except the capture may actually finally work for once. Okay, let's speed this part up because when it's all done, because I'm gonna try and see if I can get all these in. So the first couple are easy, but actually you'll start realizing you actually have to start flipping the puzzles. But there is a trick I've learned, and I'm gonna be talking more about that in the other parts when we actually have to start flipping them. And as you can see, my capture is going crazy on the inside. It looks alright, but then every now and then it gets really... the graphics cut out into blackness, because it's still that footage within footage. Okay, we only have the bottom row left. There we go. And done. What you get is... you get one of these cool little bonus cheats. You go into the Treasure Trove Cove, the Sandcastle floor again, and you enter... Bottles bonus 1. What it does, you're gonna have to wait till the end of this episode to see, or you can pretty much just skip to it. Because I am gonna get all these little... Oh, there's level 2? But yeah, I'm gonna get all these little codes in. I'm gonna beat the entire puzzle game by the end of this episode. So if you want to see what they all do, you can skip to the end if you want. No flipping yet, but I don't know, I think this is actually kind of fun little option, as long if your capture card isn't completely going off the hook like mine is, not off the hook, off the... I don't even know what to say anymore. But as long as it's not freaking out like this is actually a really interesting feature they put in this game, these little moving pictures. It does add a little bit of a challenge when the picture's constantly changing. Alright, there's bonus 2. Basically, the first couple, maybe 5 cheats are all just the same thing. It's just a different number spelling out. Follows bonus 1, 2, 3, and just so on and so forth. So now we're getting to flipping them. I always have a little bit of trouble at first, but you have to remember something. For the jiggies that are in the center, there's only one shape they can take. It looks like they could take a lot more shapes, but except for the end pieces, and even the end pieces seem to have a pattern depending on what side of the floor they're on, but the jiggies in the center have to look like the jiggies that you've been collecting, which is, as you can see when I'm flipping, the 2 holes have to be on the bottom, have to be on the left and the bottom side of it, and the pegs, I guess if you call them pegs, have to be in the top and the right side of it. There's one, okay, one more, that should be it. There we go. Bottom bonus 3. And they do get harder, but luckily I am just I'm starting to get the hang of this. Now this one may be a bit hard because now if on your guys' screen, if it looks really black, it looks really black on my screen too. I am now going pretty much entirely off of memory of what the shapes have to look like. So see, pretty much every one I've put in the center has to look like that. Has to look pretty much the same, where it's you flip it until the holes that you would stick the pegs in are on the bottom and the left, pegs on the top and the right. Just keep that in mind, and this actually shouldn't be too bad of this shouldn't give you too much trouble. Okay, another one. And there we go. So I guess that was supposed to be us in Nabnut's house, but let's keep doing this, let's keep them rolling. Now we're in the Tip-Top Choir. Here, one, here, no, here, there we go. There. I was really talk about at this moment, I'm figuring that, except for the stop and swap thing, I think that's pretty much all I can do, really, in this game. I could show off, there are other cheats that can actually give you, like, unlimited feathers, unlimited life, unlimited lives themselves, limited air, but I don't really want to show them because that kind of would break the game. Heck, there are even actually cheats that can allow you to unlock the worlds without actually finding them. There are cheats that unlock the note doors, cheats that even get rid of stuff like, find an example, in Grunny's lair, like on the floor that had the entrance to Freeze Easy Peaks and stuff, the big old grunty head thing, and you had to break its eye and then get the jiggy out of it. There's actually a cheat that gets rid of that for you. I mean, it's that ridiculous how many cheats they put into this game, but I'm not going to show them all. In fact, I'm probably not even going to reveal the ones that break the game like that allow you to get to the other levels, because that just kind of takes the fun out of it. It really does. Okay, there are examples of cheats that could bring fun to it, such as, say, the ones that give you unlimited air. That could be kind of fun. It pretty much makes Clanker's Cavern and Rusty Bucket Bay a complete breeze, but it can also make levels like Treasure Trove Cove fun. You can actually like swim all the way out. But I'm not gonna show them, and I'm only gonna reveal. Wait, huh? I got no more games left to play now. No, I don't think you're telling the truth. Ha! Fooled you. Yep, I knew it. Got one really special prize. Let's do this. So yeah, we've got bottles bonuses 1 through 5. Actually, no. Then that last one gave us the big bottles bonus. Now this should be the last puzzle. Just kind of do what you've been doing. Nothing too hard. Just that it's all yellow around, so it kind of gets difficult a little bit. But anyway. But yeah, I'm definitely going to show the stop and swap things, because, I don't know, it just seems like I want to. I'll also kind of have to, because I've already been kind of alluding to it this entire Let's Play. Now, then, I'm going to show you what you can type in to get those unlimited things, like unlimited air, but I'm not going to show them, because that can be cheating for me, and I'm not even going to show you the text you have to type in to break the game like that. If you really want to do it, you can search it up yourself. Wishy-washy Banjo. Good, clean fun. Oh, well, let's see. I'm going to meet you guys at the Treasure Trove Cove Sandcastle floor. Let's go. Okay, speeding this up just to easy. So here's bottles bonus 1. I'm not going to show myself hitting bottles bonus every single time, because all you really need to see is the number, or even part of the number, really. O-N-E. Oh my god! Look at you! To change back, just type no bonus. Alright, so that made Banjo's head big. Let's see what bottles bonus 2 does. Alright, okay. Skipped a little bit ahead of this, so T, W, O. Oh my gosh, this made my hands and feet big. Next one. That really is fun. Okay. This should be number 3. Oh, I don't see anything too wrong. Oh my gosh. Now Kazooie's gigantic. Man, these rascals and their crazy shenanigans making body parts larger. Okay, that's just getting wrong the way this is going. Next. F. O. This should be bottle bonus 4. Ha! Okay, now we look like a freaking pencil. Or a hot dog. If you can't, like... Never mind. At 5... where's the V? There it is. There we go. Oh yeah, if you want to input... Okay, now this combines some of them. And if you want to know... you can only input one code at a time you come in here, so you have to leave and then enter back in again. Alright, now time for the big bottles bonus. So yeah, basically what I'm doing is I'm entering it, then I'm leaving it again. Here we go. Oh my gosh, now we're gigantic all over the place. Okay, one more. And that should be the end for this episode. The wishy-washy Banjo. Hey, N-J-O, and Banjo was his name. Oh, but now a washing machine. Now I guess this is kind of a joke to them, and they did include this in Banjo-Tooie somewhere, where I won't tell you yet, but I'm Lucky Jack 20, pretty much finishing up this Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie. Next one I'm going to be doing the stop and swap codes. See you then.